In this episode of The Real Crimes of Kurri Kurri, we discover one of the ways of contradicting yourself in front of a magistrate. Kurri Kurri may be a small court, but I argue provides a lot of local court lessons. In late May 2025, a driver appears. He's probably about 19, 20 years old. We hear that he's only been on his P's for 1 month and 1 day when the offence occurred. The charge is interfere with a person's enjoyment or safety. When the case starts, we have no idea what it's all about. There's zero background being given. And that's the first lesson. Never assume the magistrate hasn't read the file. They might not know your face and ask who you are, but I'm convinced they're across your criminal activities. On this day, the magistrate first asks, do you agree with the facts from the police? Yes, the defendant responds. Then the magistrate lets this unrepresented defendant start the case by asking them to explain what happened. Lesson 2, don't agree to the facts and then in your story go on to disagree with the facts. So this defendant says things like it was a mistake and they didn't mean to do it. Then goes on to describe that they have an apprenticeship at Raymond Terrace. He argues he needs a driver's license because he's currently having to get a lift with his dad or catch the train to work. By the way, I don't think he's actually from Kurri. It sounds like he's from elsewhere in the Hunter Valley and came to Kurri and offended. Anyways, the magistrate just lets him talk and then there's just silence as the magistrate just looks at him. In my opinion, that's not a good sign. Oh boy, by the look on this magistrate's face, they have definitely read the file. I'm hoping for the driver's sake they didn't just disagree with the facts they just agreed with. The magistrate announces that they, quote, completely reject, end quote, their explanation that they didn't mean to do the burnout, and then proceeds to read from the agreed facts. So seatbelts on everyone, here comes the details. I'll summarise. The police are witnesses. In my opinion, you don't want the police as witnesses. You just don't want them watching you offend. Yep, this happened in front of the police at around 11 p.m. on the 20th of April. Where did it happen, you ask? Remember, it's a burnout. So yes, you guessed it, at Abermain in the infamous Hunter Economic Zone. The magistrate describes the large smoke plume and gets a bit technical with the loss of traction, etc., etc. Basically, the magistrate points out that because this fishtail burnout went on for so long until there was no rubber left on the tyre and just the steel rims, that was why they rejected the driver's excuse that they sort of didn't mean to do it. The magistrate reckons the driver doesn't deserve to have a licence and gives the driver the maximum disqualification under this offence, which is 12 months. The law doesn't allow the magistrate to sentence for more than the maximum. The driver is also fined $880 and is told to tell his mates who filmed this folly about the sentence. What is this Hunter Economic Zone anyways? Apart from being a place where cases are started for Kurri Kurri Local Court.